crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are at the sound of my voice. I'm glad you're having an enjoyable day, evening, breakfast that was good to you, made your belly smile. We're here for all of that. But we got some wonderful people. It's a thing that's going on. It's in Namasco's Bar and Lounge in Worcester, Massachusetts. So this is people that can come out, be a part of something that you'll discover. It's called the 20 Spot. Now, the 20 Spot is an original idea of comics doing 20 minutes versus worth of their material. Like professional comics open mic. And bringing it here is Josh and Latasha, and they are the hosts of this wonderful event that's happening on Thursday nights at Namasco's Bar and Lounge in Worcester, Massachusetts. All right, so we want to talk about you guys. We're going to talk about your comedy life.
All right.
Let's start with the origins of the birthing of a job as a comic. And then, well, wait a minute, sorry, ladies first.
Yep.
No, you know how y'all are.
Oh, wow. You turned so quickly.
Yes, that's what it is. Go on.
But I don't know what you did. Man, oh man. And again, forever and ever, funny, but with words, witty, right? You're so funny, you should do comedy. And it's just kind of like, you know. But my whole thing was like writing things down, and I am still funnier than the jokes that I write, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm more funny in my most natural element and with groups of people than I am on stage. And I'm just trying to marry the two at some point. I was told that the magic will happen. It will happen for me. But 6 wonderful years ago, I got on a stage. It was the Mansion, which I didn't know was one of the hottest mics in the city of Worcester. And that was my first mic. I mean,
what do you mean by the hottest mic? What is that? Talk to the people who don't know.
Come with it, Josh.
Yeah.
So,
what is that?
So open mics, they're different than a show. So when you go to a show, these are people that are paying because they're expecting to see comedy. Open mics are usually like at some bar and it just gets sprung up. Most of the people that are there don't even know there's comedy there. So like they'll be mad at you. They'll be like, "Hey, you're ruining my TV. I'm trying to watch a game here." And so with open mics, you know, most of the time there'll barely be a crowd, if at all, and most of the time it's just comedians. But the one she's talking about, Bull Mansion, it had not only a bunch of comics, but it actually had people there.
Like audience that just came in just to see what was going on, not, you know, trying to do the, what was that show? The Gong Show or something.
Right, so they're true connoisseurs of comedy, and some of them just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
And I got to lend, I will say big up to the host, Nikki Luparelli, who is a major influence for the city of Worcester in terms of comedy and music. I've not seen a lot from her recently in comedy outside of her podcast that she did during the pandemic, which was hilarious. She'd make all kind of dog biscuits and whatever. Like she stays very, very present. But I had the privilege, all of us had the privilege to be a part of her show, and she held it in such a fantastic place. We still miss that place.
And this is the Bull Mansion we're talking about.
Yeah, former New Restaurants, which Natalie Rodriguez had turned into a beautiful Latin restaurant, which I also miss. But onward, bigger and better things. Like we're always transforming. I think that's a beautiful thing about the city of Worcester. But back to my beginnings, that's where I started. And for me, it was wild because, again, it was my first 5 minutes. I did my whole 5 minutes. I was impressed that I was able to do that. But something inside me just kind of came alive, and it felt like that's where I belonged. And I got on stage, and I never got off. And I've just kept growing from there. And again, still struggling with the writing. Every now and then you hear me, it's like, is she still talking about learning how to write a very proper joke? Did she try to teach kids how to? I was like, listen, mind your business. Yes, I am still doing all those things, and yes, I have done some instruction after 6 years. I think I have that ability at least. But so producing and now moving towards emceeing and fundraising and all those different things. So I've had the pleasure of really moving forward in my comedy career, and I'm super excited for all that's happened and looking forward to what's in the future.
Now, Mr. Josh, you have some words that you want to share, because it sounds like you have some experience as well. you was there before her 6 years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't want to say how many years, but it was before that. So
He's so
has it
seasoned,
been
yeah.
like a difference in those worlds, starting on your beginning and how you see things going on now?
Yeah, so pretty much what Latasha said about the mics. That was the same thing with me. I started with there's a comic from Worcester named Orlando Baxter who used to host a mic at I think it was called Beatniks, but before that, before Beatniks, it was called I can't remember it right now. Park Grill was called at the time. And it was on Park Ave, and so. Before I even got into comedy, I always liked watching comedy movies. Like Eddie Murphy was like one of my favorites when I was a kid. And I don't know, I never thought seriously about trying comedy. It wasn't until I went to Quinsig, this was like the early 2000s, and I was taking an English class, and we would get extra credit for doing going to a poetry night and reading a poem. And I did like a funny poem, and I did all right, but it was fun making people laugh. And then when I turned 21, I started going to bars, and that's when I ran by accident.
Started at 21? Come on.
Careful.
I'm on there.
Allegedly.
He's a dad now. He's a dad.
And I ran into Orlando, and it happened to be his first night doing the open mic there.
Okay.
And I sat for like the first 3, and then I wanted to try. So what he did was, it was called the Boo or Brew. So you would go up, you would do 5 minutes, and when you were done, he would say, "All right, give it up for Josh. What do you guys think? Boo or brew?" So if they booed you, obviously they didn't like you.
Right.
And if they brewed you, you would get a free beer. So
Oh,
I got the free beer the first
3 times.
the first few times I got the free beer. Then I got booed for a while. but it helped me, and he's such a wealth of knowledge. He gave me so much good advice. Even some advice he gave me that I didn't understand at the time, but as I got more experience, then I started seeing, I see what he means now.
Right.
And that mic he did was hot too. That was like a crowd he would bring all the time. So then when I started trying the other mics, I'm just like, oh man.
They weren't the same. That's the comparison.
Yeah. So then I'm just doing like nothing but comics. There was one funny story. One time I did one in Boston. And there were it was all comics, and there was these comics that would come, that they knew how to play guitar and bass, so they would do like a little riff, for each comedian.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to go up. There's a guy in the audience, just a regular bar goer that drinks all the time. He's thinking that those guys are trying to do a concert, and we're interrupting him with our comedy. So he starts yelling
jokes.
Yeah, he starts yelling, "Let them play!" That's
hilarious.
And this is what you get as far as experiences when you're doing comedy, things that you don't even know is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, experiences like for you, what experience have you had that you didn't even think would have happened, but you looked at it was like, yo, this is really happening?
Okay, so at the attic.
You see how quick that was? It wasn't even like a thought.
That's my big brother. So it was a privilege to be on. Well, he had 2 very hot mics. We didn't get a chance to get because he had another one in Webster, which was amazing.
Oh yeah, thank you.
But I love that brewery. Those let me get back to the cocktails. So the one thing that I thought would never happen, like you see it in storybooks, you're like, nobody's ever gonna really do that, right? Because we know better.
Yeah.
I was at the attic, and after doing my set, some very gingerly spiced ladies thought it would be a good idea to sponge my hair. So when the afro was out, I was like, yeah. They were, and I was like, oh girl, I am not a doll. She's like, mommy, you're embarrassing me. And I'm just like, I was like, oh, it is real. Yeah. It is real. Yeah. So it's like it was wild. It became part of the show. Fortunately, unfortunately, one of them was a school teacher, and I was talking about the COVID component when we all became teachers. And our kids were left at home. You know what I mean? And we were all on laptops. Yeah, but that was a wild. I had that almost haggling a little bit. I had to kind of curtail it down. They were just juiced up. They were having fun, and they were placed right in the front too, so it was undeniable. Yeah. But I learned some skills. I learned some muscles how to regain control while on stage. Finish your set, and then just make sure that your hair is not.
You don't want to touch it.
It's not fandango.
I remember three Gs. That was an open mic I used to go to.
That's down in the hood.
Yeah.
That's the joint.
Oh man! So I'm watching a friend of mine.
I've been there a couple of times.
And I'm watching a friend of mine do his set. He's in the middle of just doing his jokes. This is another one that's just, it's a dive bar. Just just no crowd. You're lucky if you get like 3 people to watch
that are not playing pool.
Yeah. And so, this guy just comes running in all of a sudden off the street, like he's running from something, and he sits down like he's pretending to watch the show. And then, like a few seconds later, like 3 cops come in, and they're like looking around. And my friend who's on the stage, he's like, "Okay."
So did he get caught? Did they know? He just sat and watched the show.
They left, and then he left not too long
Some good material.
Oh my gosh, that's a moment. That's one of those moments in time. That's one of those moments in time. Now let's talk about the 20 spot. This is a Thursday night thing. What time it starts? Telling people a little bit about the past show, what they expect at the new show, what's going on. Talk a little bit about this 20 spot.
Yeah, 20.
Either one of y'all can jump in for that.
So, when we're talking about mics, so most open mics, you're lucky if you get 5, maybe 7 minutes of time. Latasha reached out to me. She already had an idea of putting together a show, but she's like, you know what, we should do something where people can get more time, because there's so many comedians that are trying to work on longer sets. It's hard to put together a long set when you're only getting like 5 minutes. So that's
usually the length of time at these open mics.
Right, yeah.
Like you go to an open mic, you get like 5 minutes because the next guy's like 30 people on the list.
Yeah, sometimes you can get 7, depends on, but you're lucky if you get 7. It's usually 5, and it'll be like 30 comedians.
Yeah.
So that's when we put it together, we're like, we'll do it with less comics, but give them more time, and then that way, it won't wear down the crowd. Because even if, let's say you give everybody 3 minutes each, you put 30 comics, that's a lot of styles to see.
Yes.
So the people are going to get tired regardless. But when you just put less comedians, you give them a little more time, it's going to make for a smoother show.
So y'all trying to have a science to this, man. Y'all got a math lab going on. We added more, subtracted some. What's going on here?
Cook it up.
Oh, no, y'all got an education channel or something. Comedy Central. You heard it here first. They're going to get the hosting job coming from me to you and all of them. Comedy Central Education by Josh and Latasha. So let's talk a little bit about the experiences that you have seen on people with this 20 minutes. How has it gone the first time? And what did you expect? Did it come across the way you wanted it to? How was this first night?
The first night was a first night.
Yes.
So anybody that's done production or done anything before, the first night can be a lot of things, right?
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, with all the hurdles, it was fantastic, and it actually superseded all expectations. Even the club, who again I'm so proud to partner with. So if everybody doesn't know, I have a long-standing relationship with
Club Namasco's,
because Julius, who's a pillar in the community, he's always there. Different folks that are doing anything. Opening up a club yourself.
Julius is the club owner.
Julius is the club owner, that's right. If you're opening up a different club or whatever, he's been there at Beth to help and support her and mentor her. He's close with Vicky at Electric Haze. I'll get there because my brain goes hard. My soul Mike was there. He reached out to me. He found out I was doing comedy. I was young at it, but again, always creating things. At the time, with my friends, I had a place to go to get paid. So we had the second level opportunities for us to do open mics. But then it's like, what was the next level for us to get paid shows? So that's where we developed that. So back to him again, and for him to host us and bring the 20 spot to Namasco is a privilege. So our first night, we had a blizzard, y'all, and we had a little bit of sickness.
Yes.
So 2 of our really, really dear comics from Harlem didn't make it. We made do. My North Carolina came out with all their orange and black and white and supported.
Okay.
Folks that were there, so we had a pretty good turnout. I'm very pleased. I think Josh was pleased as well.
Oh yeah, I was
for our
happy.
first one, and it's only going to get better. I've got far more confirmation. I definitely got some repeat actions. People want to come back and see more. So we're switching things up with marketing and stuff like that just to get the word out. But I think for all that we're doing, it's going really well.
And then you're going to have some phenomenal comics on there, and they go by the names of
Lloyd Sharp.
Legacy.
Yes. Yeah.
Out of Boston. Everybody, and that's, I bring him as often as I can, and you did too.
Funny, yeah, he's a funny, not only is he funny, he's like one of the nicest guys.
He's such a good, genuine dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have, I'm gonna butcher the name. Is it?
I was just trying to find the flyer that was sent to me.
Yeah, we got Laura Duke.
Yeah, we got Laura Duke.
Laura Duke's
Okay.
coming out. Dukes of Arts. So
That's the name? Dukes
so that's
of Arts?
her artist name, Dukes of Arts.
Yeah.
Who off my dome? Raj.
Raj. I can't remember.
He's
his
coming
last
out.
name,
And we got one more. Who else is there? Bum, bum, bum.
So it's like 6 artists.
but we
No, it's
get
4.
4.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're hosting.
And
So,
we're hosting.
Yeah.
Is that 6?
Oh, yeah,
So-
that's true.
So if you missed it last time, you won't get as much of Josh and Tosh, which we're
Okay.
not supposed to because again we're the host and we really want to
Showcase these
showcase
artists.
these folks and really give them their
Yeah, give them some
opportunity
time,
to
yeah.
shine.
Yeah.
So we'll probably end up doing a 10-minute set, which is more than fine for us because at the end of we do this twice a month. So it is every second and fourth Thursday, guys. So it's not every Thursday, but it's every second and fourth Thursday.
And you can
at
check.
7 o'clock doors open on Facebook. We also posted on William Open Mic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I posted in there. A couple other places.
And there's
posted
food
at the
there too,
library.
food and drinks.
Yes, there's wonderful food. So it's International Lounge and Bar. All kinds of food.
And we're happy with like the location because it gets a more of a diverse crowd. And that was something that we really were excited about. Like a lot of, I like performing for any crowd,
Yeah,
but
right.
most of the crowds are just it's
one
very
thing.
it's mostly white. It's very rare you see minorities. So when I started with Orlando's room, it was all black and Hispanic, and I loved it. And
Right.
So then I started going around, and I just barely seeing any. So I like getting a mix.
So is that a
crowd.
thing? Is that a thing that comics look for to get a room that is more diverse versus just getting a paid gig?
Well, it depends. I prefer getting a diverse crowd because you can get more of you get more
your
a
jokes
style.
off.
Yeah, you get a different style. Depending on the crowd that you get. So and plus I'm a minority myself, so
You want to see who represents you.
Yeah,
in the crowd.
exactly. Yeah.
No doubt. I understand that.
I think the added value is knowing the material stretch. So if you have good stretch, and it doesn't matter from all cultural backgrounds and all different, it makes you feel more confident, right? As you're writing and delivering material, that you can in fact perform for just about any room. You know what I mean? So as often as you can, again, and that goes from culture to also for corporate to private to a club. All different, right? And the more opportunities you have to perform in all different spaces, you learn the skills to conduct yourself because they are all slightly different.
True.
And the differences in the room, how is it with the differences in being comedians all in the same room? Y'all all in the green room, you're all from different backgrounds. How does that? Are y'all like the nationally known comics and they get all of
Little
this
kids in the play box, in the
you know
sandbox.
what I mean? Or you guys in the back room, having toast. Good job,
All
all of that. And
And
passing.
taglines, and suggestions.
Yeah,
Never telling
yes.
anybody what to do with their material, but I really love that. This will
maybe
kill
you
if
can add
you
this,
think
yeah.
about this or think about taking it that way or all that.
So comrades,
Yeah.
Yeah.
camaraderie.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, the joy that I got because like I said, I was supposed to do this a while ago, and there's like all these obstacles, whatever, and something happened, and I was like, I need to get Josh, and when he said yes, it was just like we've just taken off, and I don't know about you, but everybody that I've reached out to so far has been excited about this concept.
Oh yeah.
They've been excited about this concept that they have a place where they can become, I call it show ready,
Yeah.
but throwing out new material because again, it's an open showcase. So,
Right.
and everybody on our show is pay ready.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So these are quality people that are coming out to share their gift and their new material and new show concepts with us. And it's just such a pleasure to be able to have this platform to share with them. And that's what I'm getting. It's just like, oh man, this is so great. Like this whole, I'm excited. They're excited.
Right.
And it makes me excited.
And that's a beautiful thing because in that excitement,
Oh, everybody.
Oh, I'm not the only one.
everybody. Hey, I'm doing my show. You're going to have to give a shout out. Give a shout out to Haywood. Haywood, say what up.
Gosh, hey, Haywood.
Hey, what up? What up? We doing my show right now, man.
Love you, man.
All right.
Okay, now.
To the next time. Yeah, that was Brother Haywood. All right, I guess we both got put our phones on silent.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about you guys in this world that you're in. You create all of these spaces for, the continuation of this thing called comedy. And as you plant your seeds, do you think these seeds could be planted all across different areas, or you just thinking Central Mass or Worcester, or you know what I mean? Are you bringing in comics from Connecticut, or you think this could touch other areas where people will be like,
don't be digging in the box.
Oh,
I got a
okay.
road show coming out of Rhode Island. The road is
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
again, we got cats coming out of Boston, and again, honestly, I think like I said, he's above and beyond me. But we gem together. But I generally believe it's his relationships and his space in comedy, my relationships that I've established in my space in comedy, that afford us to really recruit and to get folks on deck to do this with us. So I'm very humbled. I'm very thankful that they're willing to come out, and because again, they are traveling.
Yeah.
They are traveling, and they're just so excited to be able to do this because we don't have it. After the pandemic, I noticed we don't. It used to be called mixed mics,
right?
and sometimes it was mixed with music primarily because musicians
Somebody
need
get on
that
their
time,
little
to do all the things.
Yep.
So the Raven was known for a very, very nice one, 15, 20-minute spots and up.
Okay.
And that went away. They just, again, like just thought, I'm like, wow, we don't have that platform, we don't have it. And they're just excited to have it. And they're coming from all over to answer the
Right,
question.
and that's one of the things that is the thing that brings people in.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see somebody that they ain't seen before.
Yep.
And they get to see it for the cost of.
Free. They don't have to pay anything.
But they're being a part of the development of something new that other people are going to have to pay for. But you get to kind of walk with them. And you know what I really love though? Is that you're going to get an up close and personal opportunity to kind of know their style as a comic. Because 20 minutes allows you to do that. So if I never really knew who you were before, I kind of have a sense of who you are now.
Right.
And now I can follow you.
Right.
And it's a platform where if you have merch or you have whatever, we have an opportunity for you to bring that for compensation or
So
whatever.
how can they follow you?
Folks, I'm on social media.
Everywhere.
Yeah, Latasha Hughes, Big Neighborhood Girl, IG, Facebook, all the things. Yeah.
Yes, Facebook. I finally got on Instagram. I'm an old guy. I'm so bad at that's one thing I'll say. I'm bad at promoting myself. So it took me forever to get on Instagram. I got Instagram now, but that's it. I got Facebook and Instagram.
So what is it called?
Oh, Instagram, Puerto Rican comedian.
I love that.
We're looking for Josh. He's Puerto Rican comedian. Ain't even Josh on there.
That was different. I was looking for him and I'm like, Puerto Rican, who's the Puerto
Ain't
Rican?
even Josh. He's somebody else. He's a Puerto Rican comedian.
That's why I decided to celebrate
Boricua represent West.
all of it.
And you know what? You were asking too about how things have changed, and that's one thing I'll say that's been a challenge. Like I've been doing it. 2008 was a long time. Was that 16 years? I think 17. Yeah, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So with the challenge is sometimes you get established in a certain spot. And then there's new ownership, and then they don't know you. So then it's like you're starting all over again. Like I remember there was one club I had worked my way up to feature. Then they sold it, and I'm just like, oh, come on! So I had to start all over.
So talk to them about this thing featured. Like, is there steps? Like,
yes.
What was that?
Yeah, so there's opener. So opening spot, you'll get 5, 7, maybe 10 minutes, and that'll be the lowest pay on the show, on the paid shows, which are usually the weekends. So sometimes they do it on Sunday, but usually Friday, Saturday, I like the paid show days. Then you got the feature spot, which is the one that goes right before the headliner. So the feature spot will usually get 20, 25 minutes, and then the headliner anywhere 45 and up.
Yeah.
And then the host is also too. And that's something a lot of people forget. Like the host
underestimate,
is such an important part of the show because it's like if you can host, hosting is different than being a comic. Because when you're a host, you're in charge of the entire
mood.
vibe of the show. So it's not about you, it's about the show. It's like inviting people over to your house for a party, you know, and you're just making
You're
sure
just
they're
making
feeling
sure
good.
everybody's good. Yeah,
So like
yeah.
if a comic doesn't do well, you don't want to just bring the next comic up. You want to try to
gotta
get them laughing and then they bring the next comic. Check in with the crowd if you feel like you're losing them.
Okay.
Of course, you know, hype up their comics when you're bringing them up.
Yeah.
So it's when you can host, you can get so much more opportunities, and that's what I love about hosting like all these mics and things, because they help
It's
me.
a practice channel.
It's a
basically.
skill.
Yeah, that's definitely. So one thing for me, Latasha touched upon it too, was the COVID lockdown. That was so hard. Like, I ended up. There were people doing like online shows. I think Lloyd Sharp was doing them too. Like those
We
online.
did one together. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I think he blushed 12 times. And that chocolate brother, you know that's quite a fantastic.
Yeah, and it's like it's hard because with those online shows, there's no live crowd, so you just. I never even tried doing it. I was like, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm gonna wait till like the lockdown ends. So I took this is the longest stretch I went without doing comedy, 2 years off because the lockdown. Then because I wasn't doing comedy, I had to get another job so I can pay the bills.
Yeah.
So the job I ended up getting was night hours, so that competed with
That's
comedy.
all the comedy
So
time.
it took me 2 years off, and then I eventually reworked my schedule. So then I started, when I went back to comedy, it was like starting all over again. Like
Oh wow!
I was like doing.
Did you feel like you was doing an open mic for the first time?
Almost like I was nervous. I remember, and I hadn't gotten that nervous in a long time. When I was about to take the stage, I remember it wasn't an open mic. It was a showcase. It was in Rhode Island, the Comedy Connection, and there was people coming to see me, and I'm like, guys, I might not be that good. Like, it's been a long time, and but actually it was good. It was.
Okay.
I was so
You jumped
nervous,
back on that bicycle.
and I felt like once I got the first laugh, I was like right back on it and stuff. But it was the hard time was taking the time off, and then like. And I missed it. Like during that time I was gone, and it just feels good to be back and to be hosting again with Latasha. Yeah, it's pretty.
So we're looking forward to this Thursday night, second and fourth Thursdays of the month, and this is going and books. You are booking all the way into May now.
Yes.
So we are going to have a hot summer, and we're going to have a what do they call it? The springtime, the spring flings.
Oh yes.
We're going to have the spring flings going on. The Easter Bunny is going to be hopping around, and these guys are going to
420.
be.
Easter's on 420.
I know. Yes, I was told that. Yes, and I looked that up and said, wow, this is going to be really a good Easter egg
Eggs
hunt.
are expensive. That's all I know.
And they're going to be filled with other things. I'm just saying. They catching everybody on the highway now. So. I watch too much news. We want to extend ourselves to you guys again to give your handles so that people could follow this 20 spot so that there may be somebody in Baltimore who gets a chance to check this out and want to come up. Let them know how to reach you again.
Yes. So Facebook, I'm on that. Like I said, I finally got on Instagram. It's not under Josh though. It's under Puerto Rican Comedian, and I gotta definitely work my way into maybe getting a TikTok. I feel like I'm too old for TikTok.
I have one, but I just
You got one?
I don't use it. Oh, you gotta notice. You gotta notice. You gotta.
Well, they said those are the things the kids like, so y'all training a new generation, because I guess you guys are kind of like elder statesmen, so to speak, in the world of comedy out here.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
It's crazy. And it's cool seeing like new comedians. Latasha touched upon it too, like seeing them grow, and there's been comedians that I've seen that started at my mics that I used to host 2 other mics, actually 3 other mics, and I see them still working today. I'm like, hey, he started at my open mic.
Yeah, that's good though. That's like you're seeing a student that, Daniel's son.
Hey, wax on.
Don't sue me, y'all.
Oh, I know. Wow, crazy. Did not have permission. Okay. So my government, my whole government name, Latasha Hughes Thompson, and you see the favorite neighborhood girl. But what I do love and I appreciate is once you put LATASH, I pop right up. So yeah, I don't have all the handles, but I'm hot on the handles that I got.
Okay, all right. Catch
So
up on
Instagram,
the Latasha.
Yep.
There you
Latasha.
go,
Boom,
Latasha.
she just popped by.
And I would say Josh, but it ain't. It's the Puerto Rican guy. It's the Puerto
that's
Rican
Instagram.
comedian.
That's
Instagram. But
Yeah.
Facebook is Josh Ramirez.
Facebook's Josh
Okay.
Ramirez. That's his government. You know, trying to get something for the people.
All right. So one of the things that we like to do is to say, you guys end with something you want to say to the people, how to get to you, whatever you want to say. This is your last 57 seconds, whatever you want to do.
Oh, okay. I'll say, get on the social media. I'm going to actually be at Mohegan Sun on March 13th. It's a late show. Thursday it starts at 10. I know it's a late show, but it's worth it if you guys want to come out. And there's actually a karaoke bar right next to the comedy club.
Yes.
So.
All right.
I embraced a couple times.
Yes.
All right.
Namasco, 43 Pleasant Street. That's where we're going to be this Thursday. So definitely come out and see us.
Yeah, let's go. Same thing. Come on out to Namasco's. Great food, great service, cocktails.
You want
dollar.
to plug anything?
Oh yes, I also have a wellness. Put yourself back on the list. Mixer. It's a networking mixer hosted by YWCA. Thanks to Deborah Hall and all of her team at the YWCA Central Mass Branch for hosting us and putting us on. We have fantastic queens that are masterful in the space of the 4 pillars of wellness. So it's holistic wellness, financial, physical, emotional, and spiritual. So check that out also on my page. And that will be happening March 8th. Doors open at 4 and it goes right on till 7 o'clock. So thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you guys is at. We enjoyed your company right about now. Stay tuned as we have these people go.